We often look west for tech revolutions, right? But think back, cast your mind back to 2007, Kenya.
M-Pesa.
Exactly, M-Pesa. It wasn't just mobile money, it was, well, a financial earthquake. Totally reshaped how people accessed finance across the continent.
Absolutely. It's a great parallel, actually. That same spirit, Kenyan ingenuity, now looking at technology's next wave.
And that wave is generative AI. Almost 2 decades later, another huge shift seems to be happening. Maybe quieter this time?
It feels that way, yeah. This quiet revolution. Generative AI, at its core, it's about algorithms. They learn from tons of data.
Right, vast data sets.
And then they create completely new things, new content. You've probably seen stuff from ChatGPT, making text.
Or Delhi Midjourney for images, Runway ML for video.
Exactly those big global platforms. And now they're really starting to gain traction inside Kenya. It's becoming a significant thing.
Okay, so let's really get into that. For those of us watching the tech world, what does this actually mean? Like beyond the buzzwords, what can generative AI do?
Okay, think of it like this. Gen AI learns patterns, relationships, from all this data, text, images, sound, code, everything.
Okay.
These algorithms, they're often based on really complex neural networks. And they then generate, new stuff, outputs that look like the data they learned from.
So they can write things, articles, poems.
Yep, articles, poems, scripts. They can make images, even videos, just from text prompts.
Wow.
Synthesize voices, make soundtracks, help with coding, even automate social media posts or marketing materials.
So the big jump from, let's say, traditional AI is this creative part. It's not just analyzing or predicting, it's actually making something new.
Precisely. That's the key difference. Traditional AI, it's great at analysis, classifying things, making decisions based on patterns it already knows.
Right.
Generative AI goes a step further. It synthesizes brand new content that mimics the training data. And think about Kenya dynamic, mobile first, hungry for content.
Yeah.
The potential is just, huge.
Which brings us right to the big question. Why Kenya? What's special there? What are the conditions making it so ripe for a generative AI boom right now?
Well, there's several things coming together. First off, demographics.
Wow.
You've got, over 75% of the population under 35?
That's incredible.
They're true digital natives. Grew up with the mobile phones, social media, YouTube. It's second nature. So they're naturally curious, ambitious. They just jump on new tech, like AI.
That makes sense. They're not just users, they're shaping how it gets adopted. Okay, what about the infrastructure? The tech backbone.
That's the second piece. It's crucial. You have initiatives like Content Technopolis really pushing the tech ecosystem.
With Silicon Savannah.
Kind of, yeah. And you're seeing 5G rolling out, more investment in cloud computing, and critically, internet penetration is really high, over 85%.
Over 85%, even outside the cities.
Yeah, fiber optic access is expanding, even reaching more rural areas. You need that solid connectivity, obviously, for these cloud-based AI tools.
So the digital foundations are there, but Kenya also has this reputation for cleverness, for finding solutions, right? How does that culture fit in?
Oh, absolutely. It's deep-rooted, that culture of innovation, often born from, making do with what you have.
Like M-Pesa again, or solar fintech, health tech.
Exactly. Kenyans are really good at finding creative fixes in resource-constrained places, and generative AI fits right into that. It offers cost-effective ways to do things that might normally need a lot more money or people.
Okay, so we've got the creative AI and the why, the youth, the infrastructure, the innovative culture. Let's get into the how. Where is Gen AI actually changing things? What sectors? Maybe start with education.
Education is a great example. Gen AI opens up possibilities for learning that's more personal, accessible, scalable.
How so?
Imagine AI tutors.
Yeah.
Maybe built on something like ChatGPT, but fluent in English and Swahili, helping kids in remote areas really get difficult concepts.
What would be huge?
And teachers.
Yeah.
They're already using tools, like Magic School AI, Notion AI stuff that helps them whip up lesson plans, quizzes, even help with grading. Frees up their time.
Huge efficiency game for teachers, definitely. They're often overloaded. And you mentioned remote areas. What about places with spotty internet?
Exactly. Look at M-Shul. It's an AI-powered platform, but it works over SMS.
SMS.
Yeah, it delivers personalized lessons based on how the student is doing, their learning style. Perfect for places where internet isn't reliable, but everyone has a phone. Plus, you've got edtech startups building chatbots to help with big class sizes or teacher shortages.
Fascinating. Okay, let's shift gears. The creative economy. artists, writers, musicians.
Yeah.
How's AI affecting them?
Oh, it's a like explosion of possibilities there. Seriously. You see YouTubers in Githurai, TikTokers in Eldoret. Kenyan creators are using AI to make content like never before.
Examples.
Aspiring musicians using tools like Suno AI or Boomi. They type in a prompt, get a whole song back. Visual artists using Midjourney for digital art. Freelancers using ChatGPT or Jasper for blogs, ads, social media copy.
So it's like democratizing the tools, giving access to people who maybe couldn't afford software or training before.
That's a big part of it, yeah. Freelancers can write great copy for clients anywhere, local or international. There are even platforms like Meridati Online popping up, giving creators resources, tutorials.
So the narrative isn't just AI is taking creative jobs.
Not necessarily, no. I mean, the conversation is there, but what we're seeing now is it's more about amplifying creativity, making creators more productive, helping them compete globally.
Right. Okay, let's talk agriculture. Hugely important for Kenya, right? Livelihoods depend on it.
Absolutely vital. Over 70% of Kenyans rely on ag, so the potential impact here is just immense.
So what are farmers actually using?
Well, it's starting. You have farmers using WhatsApp bots. Trained on AI, they can take a photo of a sick plant, upload it, and get a diagnosis.
Via WhatsApp. That's clever.
Very practical. And platforms like Ujuzi Kilimo are mixing AI with sensor data, giving farmers detailed soil info, personalized fertilizer advice.
Smart farming, essentially.
Pretty much. Even getting AI-generated weather forecasts, market price info, helping them decide when to plant, when to sell, making better decisions.
And I guess making these tools work in local languages is crucial.
Absolutely essential.
Yeah.
If it's not in Swahili or other local languages, and if it's not mobile first, it just won't reach the small-scale farmers who need it most. But that's happening. Imagine getting advice on crop disease in Swahili via SMS. That's powerful.
Definitely. What about health? Another area where access and efficiency are so critical in Kenya.
Yeah, healthcare is another big one. Gen AI shows real promise for improving access and accuracy in a system that's often stretched thin.
How? Like, what are the applications?
We're seeing things like AI voice assistants for initial support, pre-diagnosis maybe, helping ease the load on clinics.
Okay.
Tools like Google's MedPolM are being looked at, adapted maybe, to help doctors with diagnosis, treatment planning.
Decision support. And patient information.
Yes, using AI to generate clear, accessible educational content for communities on things like maternal health, mental wellness, common illnesses, getting vital info out there.
Mental health is interesting. Is AI playing a role there too?
It's emerging. Some startups are exploring AI counseling chatbots, especially for teens and young adults, offering accessible mental health support.
Incredible range of applications. It's not just the social sectors, though, is it? Businesses must be using this too. SMEs.
Oh, for sure. Small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, they're finding real value in AI for automation.
Like customer service.
Yeah, automating customer support with chatbots, generating ad copy, digital flyers automatically, writing product descriptions for online stores, even streamlining HR stuff, recruitment, documentation.
So it lets smaller businesses punch above their weight, maybe. Scale up without huge costs.
Exactly. It helps these leaner businesses operate much more efficiently, scale without massive overhead increases.
We mentioned the youth earlier. It sounds like they're not just using these tools, but getting involved and actually making them.
Absolutely. That's the really exciting part. You go into cyber cafes, university dorms, polytechnics. Young Kenyans are actively experimenting, playing with these Gen AI tools.
Learning by doing.
Totally. And you have platforms equipping them. Zindi Africa runs AI competitions. ALX Africa offers tech upskilling. Google Developer Student Clubs. They're teaching thousands of young people the skills.
Not just to use AI, but to build with it.
Exactly. To build AI systems tailored for Africa. For Kenya, it's fostering this whole new kind of hustle culture, shifting from manual work to digital productivity. AI as a side gig, a business partner, a creative tool.
That paints a really vibrant picture. But okay, challenges. There must be downsides or hurdles.
Of course. Yeah, definitely challenges. The digital divide is still a major one. Not everyone has affordable internet or the digital literacy needed, especially in rural areas. So equitable access is a big concern.
And the AI models themselves, bias.
That's another huge issue. Most big AI models are trained on Western data. They risk misunderstanding African contexts, languages, nuances. You need localized data sets, fine-tuning. Otherwise, the outputs can be irrelevant or even harmful.
Misinformation too, I imagine, deepfakes.
Big risk. AI makes it so easy to generate convincing fake content, spreading misinformation. It's a serious problem that needs regulation, media literacy, awareness.
And the classic fear, job displacement, automation taking jobs.
It's a valid concern, acknowledged globally, but in Kenya's context, with its large informal economy, some think it might adapt differently, maybe more towards AI-augmented work rather than outright replacement, but it's something to watch very closely.
Okay, so there are definitely hurdles. Looking forward then, what's the potential path? Is Kenya likely to stay mainly a consumer of global AI, or could it become a real creator of African AI solutions?
I think the signs point strongly towards becoming a creator, a significant contributor. We're already seeing researchers working on AI models trained specifically on Swahili, other local dialects.
For things like voice assistants.
Exactly. Voice assistants, translation tools, things that understand the local context.
Yeah.
Developers are training AI to tackle very specific Kenyan problems, predicting Nairobi traffic, improving rural healthcare access.
Building for local needs.
Precisely. And local startups are emerging focused just on building the data pipelines needed, making sure AI learns from real Kenyan experiences, reflects local values.
Is the government involved? Policy.
Yes, there's growing government attention. The 2023 Digital Master Plan mentions AI. There are collaborations with the African Union on policy frameworks. That's crucial for guiding growth, making sure it's inclusive, ethical.
It really sounds like Kenya isn't just, hopping on a global bandwagon. It's actively molding its own AI future, rooted in its own context.
I think that's exactly right. Generative AI isn't just some luxury tech toy arriving in Kenya. It feels more like a necessity, a powerful catalyst for creativity, for productivity, for real change.
Empowering youth, solving local problems.
With local solutions, yeah. Across education, the creative sector, farming, health. The impact is already starting to spread. It's broad.
So, the big takeaway here. While we often look elsewhere for tech breakthroughs, Kenya is showing again how it can not just adopt tech, but adapt it. Innovate in its own way.
Absolutely. It could have ripple effects globally.
It's not just using AI. It's learning it, teaching it, making it uniquely Kenyan in its own languages for its own future. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What happens as other nations, particularly in the global south, start doing the same, embracing this tech in their own unique, culturally specific ways?